What's up, world? I'm Lucas Barr. I'm here for another episode of Dream Chasers. It's a show I created to help people from all walks of life to turn their dreams into reality. And I bring people from all walks of life on my show who are on the road to turning their dreams into reality, to share insights, advice, and inspire people to create their dream reality. So I'm really excited to have Stefan Roumell and Anthony Roumell on the show. This is the first time I have done a double interview, so I'm just so excited to just get all this energy into one mic. Like, I don't know if
you got energy, man.
I don't know if the world's going to be able to handle this energy.
Well, especially because we're brothers, so it's more than just a regular double interview. It's like a family.
Yeah, it's a double the dose for the most passion fest here.
Yeah, well, and it's very grassroots, right? Because we're all really close together. So there's
a little brotherhood going on.
Just a little bromance. Yeah, well, why don't you guys start off just by introducing yourselves?
All right, my name's Anthony Roumell. I'm 33 years old, and I am passionate about helping people move better. Since I was 17 years old, I've been just in love with fitness, in love with being an entrepreneur, in love with helping people, and really learning what it is to live a life of power and of balance. And so I've pretty much dedicated my life to really working through what there is to work through to do that. And I've been very successful with it. And it's just a lovely life. I love it, man.
And I'm Stefan. I'm the younger brother of Anthony over there. And I have a company called Golden Glory Authentics, where I specialize in doing high-end custom framing for sports memorabilia and other autographed collectibles. My passion is freedom. Pretty simple. I think that's why we all get into entrepreneurship, to do what we love to do and make enough money to provide and be on our own schedule. And so, yeah, that's pretty much my passion. So doing something I love to do. I've always been into sports. I've always been a creative person, artistic and whatnot. So being able to put sports and my creativity and I like to be very tactile, building things, tools, construction type stuff. So being able to combine all those three things, do something I love, and set myself free. That's my passion. So,
love it. So each of you talk about the journey from where you started to where you're at now.
Well, yeah, we both grew up very close. So as brothers, we've had a lot of fun. We're 3 years apart, and our parents are awesome. We both grew up in the Bay Area, Marin County, outside of San Francisco.
Go Warriors!
And yeah, so we're both very musical. We come from a very musical family. The first half of our life, we were completely obsessed and fully committed to music. We had a band since I was in 5th grade and he was in like 3rd grade.
Something like that.
Yeah, all the way to the end of high school. And so for the first half of our lives, we were just pretty much local rock stars in Marin County. And it was a pretty rad childhood. We pretty much grew up playing music, but we were very committed. We were signed to an independent label. We played with a lot of names that are pretty big these days. Incubus, Blink-182, Sublime, Less Than Jake, a lot of and we were like this little, teenager group. And he was one heck of a drummer, still is. Yeah, he's extremely talented. Stefan is extremely talented.
Actually, I ran with music for a little while after the band split up and went to LA for about 8 years and spent a lot of time songwriting and producing and doing stuff like that, trying to crack into that industry. And that's been a very profound part of my journey. A lot of struggle there and a lot of disappointment, but it's all just been such a blessing because it's really guided me to where I'm at now. So
totally. And really for us, the grassroots of our life working in synergy together as a group and just with music. I grew up playing piano, he grew up playing piano, and then went to drums, and we just created this band out of nothing. So the first part of our childhood, aside from just being a kid, which is awesome, is we just did what we loved all day, every day. I mean, we had band practice 3-4 nights a week, voice lessons, guitar lessons, drum lessons. We played shows every Friday, Saturday, came back Sunday and had band practice.
Kudos to mom and dad.
Yeah, our parents were super committed.
Mom and dad,
yeah,
if you're watching, if you're listening, thank you so much. You guys really went the extra mile and always told us that if we do what we love, we'll never work a day in our life. I know that sounds cliche, but something not quite as cliche, but up a similar vein. My dad always told me, he said, find what you love to do. I don't care what it is. If you work hard and you become the best at that, you will be financially provided for. I don't care if you're passionate about cleaning toilets. You'll be the best janitor, and you'll make loads of money being a janitor. Just find what you love to do. And I think for all the parents out there, I know I have 2 young children, and I think it's just a great message to send your kids to be fearless in the world and go out and dream.
Yeah, well, I want you to talk about that moment where you transitioned from going to chasing this music dream to the next stage in your life and what that was like.
Yeah. Well, I've always lived by a motto, and it's sometimes a perceived misstep in the wrong direction is often the first step in the right direction. To put it differently, sometimes the universe or the powers that be will set you on a course correction. And at first we resist it because we think this isn't going according to my plan. We see it as a failure. But as we get further down our journey, we look back and we see that momentary disappointment was really just a road sign on the way to the correct path, to the correct success. So for me, music was a big thing like that. I think, I became a young father and out in Los Angeles doing the starving artist thing, trying to crack into that industry and realizing I now had a young daughter to provide for and to care for. And did I really want to raise her in that culture and that environment in Los Angeles? It's a really tough place to raise kids. Forgive me, my Los Angelesians, but I just don't know if it's the most wholesome place to raise young
LA.
children.
I just don't want to live there. That's all.
I love LA too.
I just want to go visit there.
It's tough sledding to raise kids and trying to instill those type of values and all that stuff. So I decided to give it a couple years while my daughter was really young, and the benchmarks that I thought I would hit within those couple years didn't happen. It became more increasingly clear to me that I should try something else, and I kind of lost passion for the music because I was such a creator that as soon as I tried to attach financial gain and career aspirations to it, it started to be more about what can I do with my creation to make money. And that really zapped my natural passion. I stopped waking up in the morning wanting to write songs because I started to realize I wasn't writing my songs. I was writing songs so hopefully other people would want them and put them on the radio, and you kind of lose yourself in that. And I know other artists and musicians out there probably feel the same way, that it's really hard to struggle with your creative integrity to blend your passion and financially gaining from it. So I moved to San Diego. I have family down here, and I just saw it's like a vacation spot of mine when I lived in LA. And I thought it would just be a great place to raise my daughter. So I got out of Los Angeles, and I still go up there and participate in music here and there, but it's more of just a passion play. It's not something I'm doing necessarily to bring in money. So once I got here, it got pretty rough. Here I am, I'm raising a daughter, and I don't know what to do with my life. And that was honestly probably my biggest personal hurdle, because when you grow up wanting to do something and having it in your bones, in your core, it's everything you've done your whole life. Yeah. It becomes your identity. And by me essentially having to look myself in the mirror and turn my back on music and put that card back into the drawer and say, maybe this isn't going to be what I do for my life, that was honestly like a death to me. It was like suicide. It was watching a dream go away. And that's sometimes as dreamers, sometimes as entrepreneurs, the hardest thing to do is to empoweredly give up, to choose to give up.
Oh, it's awesome. Humility.
Yeah. It's a very tough hurdle to get through.
Chills in my scalp.
It's like a death.
Oh, cracking the scab open, Lucas, having us come here together. It's very rare we actually stop doing what we love to do and grinding to sit back and talk about what we've done. And I'm sure all you guys watching this are the same way. It's like there's so many great things going on. And like what you're saying, quantifying your passion to make a living is a struggle that a lot of entrepreneurs have, because it's like, how do I take money? Like Stefan and me are the same way. It's like, when I started making money doing, I love training people and being a coach, I was like, how can I even ask for money for this? Like the hardest thing I had wasn't building my freaking business. It was asking for my clients to bring me the check for thousands of dollars that they owe me every month. Yeah. And it that was a big art of transformation for me to shift the context of being able to feel powerful about asking for what I actually had earned, because it was such a fulfillment to my higher purpose. And all these things entrepreneurs deal with. I mean, especially when it comes to something that literally like gets you up in the morning and gets your blood, your heart pumping.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you have such an identity built around music, or what you thought your career was going to be like, or what you think it's going to be, especially as a younger person. When you grow up and you have so much drive and passion, those two together are just like a radical experience. Like there is no like off day. You're just like, there couldn't be enough time in 40 lifetimes to get where you want to go, because it's infinite. There's really no end. There's nowhere to really get to when you're passionate about things. It's just you're passionate.
Yeah.
But anyways,
absolutely.
I got a lot from what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, how would you advise people to change that context? Because I know there are people out in that audience right now who are afraid to charge for their services, and don't know how to deal with that from a powerful place. So what would both of you say for that?
I think to start off, we should talk just a little bit about fear. As entrepreneurs generally, and people that may not be entrepreneurs, it's a very cliche word now to say entrepreneur, but people who want to step outside of their box essentially and do something they love and make a living at it. Cultivating a great relationship with fear is one of the most powerful things you can do for your internal being and the passion that you're creating and your business. Most people spend so much of their time avoiding fear, running away from fear, trying to prove fear wrong. I'm not scared of that. I'm tough. I'm going to grind until I can't, stop anymore. But the truth is accepting fear is one of the most powerful virtues of being a human. No matter what, fear is at the core of our being. It's what drives us. We're survival machines. And when it comes to business, nothing percolates your survival more than starting your business, putting yourself out there and really like telling everyone else, because I'm sure you have a big committee of people saying, well, you shouldn't leave that job that's paying you a secure 150 grand a year. Yeah. You shouldn't leave that when you have 2 kids and pursue something completely different. You should just stick with the job and stick with your degree and stick with your expertise. And that is boring. Honestly, it's like when you really living a slow death. Like when I have to sit here for an hour, I should be standing in this interview because that's horrible for your body. Anyway, sidebar. Sitting is
just to cut in for a second. Yeah. I think people they think when you ask most people what they want out of their life, 9 out of 10 people, maybe not 9 out of 10, but a high percentage of people are going to say, I want to have a good job that's stable and get paid a certain amount of money. It's like they look at their job as a means to an end. They look at it as security is their biggest concern. And security is such a convenient disguise for fear. It's the most convenient disguise for fear. It will tell you this isn't fear, it's security. It feels good, but why is it fear? It's because you're scared to not have that security. So a lot of people, they take jobs they don't like because it pays them a comfortable wage so they can get off work and go watch movies and go play golf or whatever else they like to do. And it's really just a means to an end. But when you work 8 hours plus of your every day of your life, do you really want to sacrifice doing something you love for doing something that gives you security, when so many of those people who work security-based jobs get laid off and then they have to go and find another job? I mean, that's real fear.
Yeah, most of the time security really isn't actually secure. I hate to say it, like it's a myth. There's an illusionary drape that's put over a lot of people's heads. I mean, look at all the banks in the crisis that we had back in 2008 and the one we're probably about to have right now. It's it's all just one big world of agreement. We agree that this is secure, that this isn't not secure. We agree that this mic is a mic and that a fork is a fork and the diamond is worth lots of money. But the truth is, it's really what you make of it. Yeah. And so being an entrepreneur is not buying into the fear saying I'm not scared. It's buying the fear saying I am scared. Like for me, it's all about admitting that I'm scared. Like I am okay with fear. Everything I do is based off fear. Fear is okay. If I'm feeling scared, that means I'm growing. That is like where the sweet spot is. One of my mentors, like and actually not mentors, but kind of like role models is a master named Rickson Gracie. He's an incredible jiu-jitsu artist, one of the most dominant martial artists of all time. And my grandmaster, I've been practicing Brazilian jiu-jitsu for 10 years now. And martial arts is a big part of my life. And it's all about being with fear, really just accepting fear. And what Rickson Gracie says is, I'm scared of everything. Like I'm scared of everything because fear is part of our being. And it's so true. When you can just admit you're scared and just let that go and let that be and drop the tissue to fear, then what's there is a space where you actually create your dreams and know that whatever you really need, you're going to find a way to get it, because no matter what, you're not going to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really what fear is about. It's like, I do a lot of things outside of my business and coaching that I'm just having a lot of fun with. Like I like walking on slack lines and doing, lots of like things that people think is pretty crazy. And I do it because it's not scary. It allows me to really program the neural pathways in my brain to just learn how to let go and not try and control things so much, and just be with the moment and be where things are, because so many things are occurring, especially in an entrepreneur's brain. You're constantly creating visions, and then also there's the reality behind what you're creating and how long it's going to take to come to fruition through the actions that you're going to take and the team you're going to assemble, or however it's going to be, that you're going to take your idea in your head and you're going to put it down on paper into the plan, and then you're going to have it actually manifest in reality. And so learning how to trust the creative process and trust that when you say you're going to do something, eventually it's going to happen, is a very powerful art in being an entrepreneur. So, that's something that I'm really focused on, is always just checking into my fear, checking into my body, my particle. The most important thing is how I feel inside about myself. Yeah. The external is just a manifestation of my internal. Yeah. And, you can put spins on it. I'm a big fan of meditation. I practice yoga every day. I've been practicing it for a decade. Martial arts. I've built my entire life around movement. I love movement because the body is the most ultimate example of being someone who has integrity with oneself. Yeah. So with the body, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we all deeply respect and look at Olympic gymnasts and Olympic athletes and people that challenge like the reality of what's possible, because we know that they're literally doing things that most people's minds just don't believe can even be done, because the body is such a fine-tuned mechanism, just as the brain is, just as your thoughts are, that if you're not working at it constantly and just pampering it and giving it what it needs and the nutrients, the sleep, everything, the environment, you're never going to have the result you want. And so that's why in the world, we really look at people that make millions of dollars, and most of the time we idolize them, or most of the time we look at this person that seems to have all this and we idolize them. But truth be told, what I look at in life is a person living their passion, is a person living in balance, and how much ability does that person actually have to help other people. So those are some like ideas,
What do you think?
I mean, I think he hit a lot of points right on the head. I think as far as entrepreneurship goes, and like the question you asked, taking something from concept to rubber hitting the road and getting started, fear is obviously going to be there. You're going to have those thoughts of failure and this and that, but fear, it's there. You just got to act anyways, man. You just got to act anyways. Any great person who's achieved anything you see fear and you learn how to operate in the pressure. A Hall of Fame quarterback is probably scared every play of every game, but he knows how to perform under that pressure. So those people who learn how to, I call it, dissolve your fear into focus by acknowledging your fear and accepting your fear. It's no longer fear. You've said hello to it. Hi, fear, I'm scared of you. But then you turn it into a focus on what you can do to avoid that outcome. So that's kind of my thing, just being at one with the fear, stepping into that field of fear, turning it into focus, and performing anyways.
Such a good point. So like performing anyways too, the biggest issue people have in actually achieving their dreams is just people don't take action. Yeah. When people think they're taking action, most of the time they're not taking action.
They're thinking.
And they're
thinking about taking action.
I call it my favorite term, analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
My favorite. It's unfortunately, as human beings, we've been gifted with this incredible brain that
often gets in our ways.
Literally, and depending on your personality and the way you've been conditioned from a child, there's a lot of points of view that you have that are nothing more than just points of view.
Right.
And you really think that they're the truth, but they're not.
Yeah.
The only truth that I abide to, as far as I'm concerned, is gravity. The only real truth. Everything in the universe, in the physical form, in some way has a relationship with gravity. And so that's why I'm obsessed with movement and helping people move better, and alignment and corrective exercise, and literally teaching people how to harness the power of their own being, because When you can harness the power of your own being, you can be a better person for everybody.
Yeah.
You can have more energy for anything you want to do. Literally every cell of your body stores more energy. You have more mitochondria. You literally absorb more from everything, and then you can give more.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to being an entrepreneur, living in balance and living in clarity, it's easy to create big ideas, but taking it all back, action is the area where most people have the toughest time. Starting something is so hard.
It's the most important.
It's like
when you start something, that sets it all in motion.
Yeah.
If you're on the sideline and you have this grand idea in your mind, it hasn't started yet. So you're not giving it the opportunity for the progress and process to work. So once you start something, even if you have an idea and you don't know how to execute it, do something, anything. Order business cards that say what you are and what you want to do. Just that little tiny thing is now put you into process mode. You're not sitting on the sidelines waiting to get started. You've technically already started. So now you're in the process, which is always more confident instilling than sitting on the sidelines, pacing back and forth in front of the fire. When am I going to jump? When am I going to jump? Because if you're waiting for the right timing, it's just never going to be the perfect timing. The perfect timing is now.
Are you watching the game?
Yeah.
Or are you playing your own game?
And I think a big thing
are you the game, or are you waiting for the move to happen, or are you going to take the steps to create the move?
And I think a big thing about it is just the word dream. People really misinterpret that. Dreams, we think of something as staying in our head. But when you're sleeping and you're in a dream, are you doing the dream, or are you thinking of the dream? You're actually participating in the dream. So the dream you have in your head is not meant to stay in your head. So that word dream gets misconstrued sometimes. And the thing is, would you rather have the dream sit in your head and have nobody else know it but you? Or would you rather do the action to take that dream out of your head and build it in reality? So I can say, hey, check out my dream. Share this dream with me. Look what I've done. Look at people can participate in and now see it with their own eyes. So it's taking it from your head and putting it into reality. That's the dream. Yeah,
and guess what people like buying, ladies and gentlemen? Commodities that are other people's dreams. Because they're really freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Because when you're getting something, you're getting quality. You're getting something that's literally been someone's life. The energy that they've literally omitted from their being that I was talking about has been put into whatever they're doing that's gone into your hands so it can go into other people's hands. And it's an infinite, like I was saying earlier. Yeah. And another thing kind of bringing back into fears and action is, so many of us have these expectations. We live in this world of expectations that, I think it needs to be like this. And when the expectation doesn't happen, it's an unfulfilled expectation. All of a sudden we lose power. We lose internal power. We lose confidence. And as an entrepreneur, having a deep inner guidance, a deep beacon of confidence, real belief in yourself, comes from the belief that you have so much that you don't consider making mistakes failure. Because you're going to make so many mistakes and you're going to fail so many times. I mean, if you really want to make something happen in this world, you have to suffer. And it's not a bad thing. It's the best thing you'll ever go through, because you can't earn that type of internal wealth. And this is something what people really get thwarted on when it comes to taking a dream and putting it into reality is they have the idea, they thought about the dream, they're either changing careers or they're young and they want to create something. But then when it comes to actually facing what they have to face to have that manifest in reality, they get pounded down and they come up with 999 excuses why they can't fulfill the dream. When the truth is, if you just, excuses aside, put one foot in front of the other, literally just when I walk a tightrope, one step at a time, find your balance with each step, each depression of each metatarsal phalangeal joint on the foot. Feel everything. Trust that you're going to fall off 4, 5, 10, 20, 100 times. But no, it doesn't matter, because no matter what, I'm getting my butt up and I'm going to get my butt to work and do what I got to do. And so where people get thwarted a lot is, they get so caught up in what other people think. They get so enrolled in, what am I going to have to tell my family and my boss, or what all those people that are sitting back, the critics, watching, judging, telling you what you should be doing with your life. And that's why a lot of people never get started. And that's why I'm scared what it will look like to everybody else if I fail. If I tell everybody I'm going to do this and I don't do it,
How am I going to look? So they want to settle for the status quo because it's safe.
Yeah, but let me ask you.
It's not security again, but it's really fear.
Yeah. So here's a thought that goes through my head all the time when my brain tries to trick me into not doing something that I really want to do. I go, okay, brain. So when I'm 80 years old, 90 years old, God willing, am I going to look back and be happy that, you know, I played it safe? Or do I want to know that I literally gave it every shot at everything I ever wanted to do and I did my best? And I don't ever want to live a life of regrets, you know, even if it's something that most people don't agree with. You know, most people, you know, don't necessarily completely think for themselves. They are at their purest form, their true self, and they're letting all the noise come in and dictate what they really want to do. And really, we all just want to be loved. We all want to have a family. We want to be connected. We want to have health, and we want to be able to help other people around us. Like, it's just human nature, human things that are instilled in us. And so what's beautiful about being an entrepreneur is when you can learn how to harness being with fear, when you can learn how to harness, you know, taking a step, even though you're scared to do it, and just getting up every time, dusting yourself off, getting back at work, you can literally build a company that's not only your dream, but it's like your purpose. And what you create can actually help other people and in turn help other people. And that's really what it's all about. It's really reaching a state of peace in this world. We're always working hard that everything in this world, until everything's at peace and harmony. And it just, you know, and when you have that focus, you know, it's, you know, you can look at it as like, you know, a little esoteric or whatnot, but it's really what it's all about, paying it forward.
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day,
if you want to get, you need to give and help others, because, you know, if you have the opportunity to even create your own dreams, think about what a blessing that is. Literally.
Like, not many people get to do that.
Yeah. You know, the whole old saying is, you know, work like a slave, live like a hippie. Entrepreneur, work like a slave, like a hippie, or work like an immigrant. You know, like our grandfather immigrated through Ellis Island with a 5th grade education, literally couldn't even speak English, avoided the wars in Greece, came here with nothing, and built the largest catering business in Detroit during the motor capital boom.
Wow.
Had over 100 employees, put over 20 of his employees through, you know, college, higher education.
Wow.
He invented the first machine that could cook so much lamb at one time that they could feed 1,000 people at hot plates. This is back in the, you know, big GM, the big Ford days when, you know, we were at war and we were pumping out tanks left and right. It was like big money in Detroit. And
so wait, another Greek was the first to do something?
We're Greek, by the way. Get out of here. We're all lazy now. Anyways, but you know, the point is, you know, a lot of people, this country was founded on entrepreneurs that came here with a vision, a dream, a belief of living a life that was better, because here we have God-given rights that every human should have. And it's easy for us to take that for granted at this day and age, especially in this generation. You know, there's so many ways to cop out. And there's also so many people that have created businesses around areas in life that make you feel like it's okay to cop out, you know? And it's just, it's you have to navigate yourself, and you have to know your own self and have a beacon. But I think when you have something that you really love in a business that you're creating, or that you're, you know, working to bring to the next level, it keeps you in the right direction, because you have to stay honest. If you don't, you're not going to be in business. People don't do business with unhonest people.
I mean, you know? it's totally true. And I think at the end of the day, you are your best teacher, and you're going to get all this feedback from other people about
what's wrong with failure.
Yeah. Well, not only failure,
like,
but how things should go and when you should do things. And I think people have to know that at the end of the day, you're going to be the best judge of how you need to do things. Even if their feedback is valid,
of course,
you have to take into mind like what is going to be best for you, because you just get caught up in what they're saying, and then you're able to play it safe because you're just stuck in what they're telling you. And yeah, it may be right, but that's not necessarily the long-term game.
Well, it's so true. And you call it, like I call it enrollment speeches. It's like, if let's say you're in a great space with your business, you just create this awesome idea. There's a lot of things falling into place. You're feeling great. You go and talk to people with that energy. Generally what you're going to get is not a bunch of critics. A lot of times you're going to have people really like, it's going to feel really, really, really good. People are going to be like supporting you because they can see the real authentic excitement, the jive in you. They could see the possibility that something big could happen. And when you start enrolling people in some of your first, small little mistakes or hiccups and things that happen in the business, just get ready. Get ready for, a lot of people just to warn you with their fears. And that just means they love you. That's how I always look at it. I take it with a grain of salt. I have so many amazing mentors around me, and I've been blessed at a very young age to have spent a lot of time with great elders. And what I've really gotten is everything they're saying is right in the right context, but it just was right in their timeline of life. So you just have to know what you're committed to and what you're capable of and believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. And so much of that, bring it all around, comes back to your work ethic. So, what are you really working on? Let me ask you guys, if you think you're focused, how many distractions do you have right now getting in the way of you focusing on what you really want to do? Just think about it. Think about what it takes you every day just to clear the space for you to have enough time to really focus on the techniques in life that are going to actually have the biggest impact on you creating your dreams. And focus is the most important thing when it comes to taking action. Yeah. The most successful human beings in the world are people that are outsourced to things that they don't do well, and they know they're not their strengths. There's no point in trying to fix weaknesses. There's no such thing. Just work with your strengths. Find someone else that's really good with that shit.
Very true.
And focus on what you're great at and be the best at it. Work hard.
And that's why it's so important to choose something you're absolutely passionate about.
Get clear. Get clarity.
It can't be. Here's from my experience and my perception, what I've seen. A big reason so many entrepreneurs fail is because they're not doing their dream. They're trying to replicate somebody else's dream. They love the idea of having their own business. They love the idea of having time freedom. They love the idea of passive income. They love the idea of all this stuff. So they look around at the world and they see other examples of how other people have achieved those things. What they really like is what that thing brings them, but they're not passionate about the actual thing, which is why he is passionate about fitness. So that's why he's successful at what he does. If anybody else tried to replicate that without the same drive and passion, they would fail miserably and say, oh, what a horrible business plan, it never worked. I'm passionate about what I'm passionate about. So I could never work 13, 14, 15, 16-hour days, 6 days a week, 7 days a week sometimes. I couldn't do this amount of hours and work hard with that type of work ethic if I wasn't passionate about it. So I dare somebody to come and try and replicate what I'm doing, because if you're not diehard passionate about it, you will never be able to put in that work ethic. Yeah. And I think too many people are out there trying to live too many other people's dreams. Absolutely. So something I say to entrepreneurs, and they say, I really want to start something new. I have all these ideas. I know I could be successful at running a business. I work great by myself. I'm self-motivated, self-starter. What do? I say, what are your hobbies? They say, I love to golf. Okay, start with that. What could you do in golf? Well, this. If the golf thing doesn't work, okay, what's your other hobby? Well, I'm really passionate about this. Honestly, if you were to close your eyes and imagine you won the lottery, what would you be doing with your time if you had won the lottery? With those first few things that come to your mind, that's where your passion is. That's where you need to be an entrepreneur, in that field. Don't worry about how many other people have failed in that field. If you're passionate about food, you're passionate about cooking, start a restaurant, start a food line. Doesn't matter. It's a tough industry, but if you're passionate about it, do it. He loves fitness. I love sports and art. That's how it works. You got to live your dream, not try and replicate somebody else's. And I think that's a big mistake a lot of people make starting an entrepreneurship venture.
Yeah, and it's really great what you're saying too, because passion is the most attractive quality in the world. Passion if you have passion, you're the richest person ever. Passion is like a renewable source of energy, and it's very refreshing to be around, because it's like being a child. Kids are full of passion because they don't have this big full cup of all this stuff they think they know about life. They just do what they want to do just because they want to do it. And from that space, passion is there, and that's where creativity comes from. That's where ingenuity comes from. That's where inventions come from. It comes from a space where there are no boxy walls, and it's not about you're going to fail and you're wrong and you're not going to look good. So many people avoid doing what they really love in life because they're spending so much time just avoiding looking bad. They're so worried about looking good and avoiding looking bad that they're scared to do what they really, really want. And
in this day and age of social media,
oh my God, it's so crazy.
And the funny thing is, everybody knows your business. So
yeah,
it's
but the
I
funny
can't
thing is,
possibly look bad failing in front of everybody.
Even with social media, as much as everyone thinks so many things have changed, nothing's changed, you guys. Nothing's new. Nothing's been reinvented. It's all been done before. And in fact, it was done with generally a lot more integrity and time involvement, probably back in the day. Like you're saying earlier, like people that are just trying to like, you know, they think of being an entrepreneur as like, I just want to live this dream lifestyle and, you know, get paid and not have to show up anywhere. And it's like, dude, get out of here, man.
That's not how it works.
It's not how it works. Like, yeah, you might not have to show up anywhere, but you're going to be at your house working. Like, you know, like mark my words. Anyone you know that has legitimately made all their dreams come true, financially, relationships, you know, philanthropy, they are the hardest working people you've ever met in your entire life. And I spend a lot of time with those people.
What was that phrase you said? You said work like a slave, live like a hippie.
Work like a slave, live like a hippie.
So have you ever asked yourself why a company is willing to pay you an $80,000, $100,000 year salary?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because they're making more money off of you than they're paying you.
It's
Otherwise, they wouldn't be offering you the job for that amount of income. So when you think about it, you got to realize that it's, again, it sounds cliche, but you're either going to get hired to fulfill somebody else's dream or you can fulfill your own. So when they're paying you $100,000, that's probably because you're bringing in $300,000 worth of value to that company. So, and that's, again, when you're trying to start an entrepreneurship venture, you better be passionate because you're going to have to work really hard. That company that hired you for 80 grand is at cruise control. That's why you can work 40 hours and make 80 grand. But when you're starting something new, you're going to have to work like a slave and live like a hippie and make lots of sacrifices and work overtime hours and all this stuff, which is where the passion needs to be there, because you will take, okay, it's like, have you ever ran a really long race? You want to quit so bad in those 10th mile, 15th mile. You're so ready to quit that any excuse that comes into your mind, you're going to jump on that opportunity to get out. And entrepreneurship is the same way. You experience one failure and you're looking for ways out. You're looking, oh, well, I have that great job offer over here and my buddy's doing this. I could team up with him. You're looking for ways to get out because your ego is uncomfortable. So
and this
when
isn't
you're
a race.
passionate
this is
about
your life.
something, exactly.
This is like your survival. This is your family.
The passion is the thing that keeps you in the game. It's that thing that kept Rocky getting up off the mat. You got to have that or else you're going to quit, you know? So make sure you're careful with what you pick to do or else you may.
Super important. And, you know, I used to be the guy a long, long time ago that was really great and talented at starting things and just not good at finishing them. I used to be that guy. And, you know, 20 years later, I can sit here before you guys today and you on record saying, you know, now, you know, I'm the definition of follow through. And it's a muscle, you know, it's a trained muscle. You know, discipline, structure, passion, trying a lot of things and really sifting through what you like and what you don't like is very important. And don't listen to anyone that gives you crap about wanting to go try a bunch of different things, even if they're like, oh, there he goes again. And I remember I used to hear even close people that are still in my lives telling me, oh, yeah, we'll see if Anthony sticks with martial arts and jiu-jitsu. We'll see if he does that. And, you know, this year, you know, I'm just about to earn my black belt now, where 10 years later, I've been training, you know, 4 to 6 days a week for 10 years straight on top of running my business. You know, I've had my own business for 15 years. I have 90% of the same clients for the last 15 years, 12 to 15 years.
Wow.
And we've been together since I was 20 years old and less than 20 years old. Now I'm 33, you know, and I didn't even realize, I knew how passionate I was about what I did and helping people move better and coaching and training and all that, but I didn't realize the depth of what I had found with movement. I didn't realize what an expression it was for me, just as music was an expression for us. And a lot of that came from, I always had this idea of the grass is always greener. You always hear this, you know, so, you know, I got my insurance license. I tried selling insurance. Oh, I had this dream business and here I was already making almost 100K cash a year doing what I love. And then I'm like, at 26, I'm getting all these, you know, ideas from my ex and from my dad, and they're all great ideas of like, oh, Anthony, you can't do this forever. You know, you should get your insurance license and start, you know, and it was great. It was from a good place. And so I did that. It went completely against my grain, but I went and got my license for health and life insurance and started building a little business on the side. And I was like, my focus was now being split between 2 different companies. And at that time I had another trainer or 2 I was managing under my business. And I had to try all these things to actually remind myself how much I didn't really need the reminder, but you forget as an entrepreneur how much you really love what you do when you find it, that it's almost like you go through life trying to prove yourself wrong. You go through life like, it's so many people do this, like when they find like the right person in a relationship, they try and do all these things just to like, just to try and screw it up just to get back to where they were. And really, the key is doing that in a graceful way that honors the people around you and that honors yourself, and that leaves yourself, people around you, and things in a better state generally than before you met them. Mm-hmm. That way you can sample, so to speak, sample the flavors and get clear on what you really want to do. Because once you lock in that clarity, holy crap, man, then it's time to get back to your focus and remove distractions. So pretty much the last 5 years in my world, I have been dedicating to getting rid of the bullshit, remove distractions. So now I can say I have, in the last 1.5 years, I've moved my business up to a private gym with a buddy of mine who's a great human being who I owe my life to in many ways. I have completely focused all my energy. So when I'm at my business, I'm completely focused on my business. When I'm at the academy and I'm training on the mat, I'm completely at the academy on the mat. When I'm with my wife and I'm at home, I'm completely with my wife. And I've organized a balanced life so I can have maximum efficiency and productivity in all those areas and still live a life, and I can turn it off. And
I envy you.
Aside,
because we're on like
he's in the beginning stages. I'm like 15 years down the road, and I'm also in the beginning stages. This year, right now, I am just starting to rebuild.
I'm thinking about my venture. I'm like, that is not my.
I'm not organized.
So I'm one of those entrepreneurs that So I have 2 children, and I happen to have full custody of my kids. So they're there all the time. There's so many duties to do. I also do the primary bulk of my work at home. So there's all these duties around. Not nonstop things need to be done. The kids are asking for this, then I work a little bit. Then the kids ask for that, then I work a little bit. Then there's laundry I got to do and pass through, and then work a little more, and then get them ready for bed, and then work a little more, and get them off to school work. So cultivating, I envy the people that can really cultivate a distraction-free environment. But for some people, it's just not possible at that certain stage wherever they're at. So you got to learn to embrace your distractions and use your distractions as a tool, and say, okay, how can I use this distraction as a way to enhance my productivity and enhance my focus? It's really tough, but you just got to be committed. And eventually you start to learn that all those distractions have really provided you an intense level of focus.
Well, this is so good what you're saying. Is so when I said remove distractions, I didn't mean that the distractions are actually going to go away. It's just the way the distractions occur to me at this stage in my career they just don't occur to me like distractions anymore. And so when you're an entrepreneur in the beginning, you're gonna have all these things that you like pull your hair out about, you get so worried about. And I've done a lot of coaching seminars along with Lucas, like we've done some coaching together, and I spent a lot of time coaching people outside of my business coaching, but just like in life coaching. And I'm very passionate about the human condition and just helping people understand what it is to be a human being. But really, as you go through life and have more experience in the areas that you're experiencing as an entrepreneur, you increase your plate. And so Stefan, actually, believe it or not, has set himself up to win. He has a very focused life where he has very minimum distractions. He works from home. He's got everything close in the vicinity. He's got but he still can't control Layla and Emmy running amok. Yeah. And at the same time, he knows that if he has work to do and he needs to be up late at night when they go to bed, guess who's going to be in the garage grinding?
Well,
so that's the bottom line. As an entrepreneur, at the end of the day, you have a say. So like for me, because I want to be a full-time martial artist and really live the lifestyle of just being a complete movement geek and just doing all types of cool, crazy stuff, that's like a full-time job at training to get my body and mind and spirit and have the time to do that. So I start work at 5 a.m. still to this day. I get 3/4 of my workday done by 11 o'clock.
Well, you got to know though,
and everyone's different, Yeah, but you have to set yourself up and know it takes practice. I had to do a lot of, when you own your own schedule, you you have to learn how to take complete responsibility of your time, which means as an entrepreneur, there's only one person to blame for something that's not working. It's you. The only common thing, if something's not working, is you, buddy. Relationship not working, probably something you're not doing. Business not working, probably something you're not doing. Car not working, probably something you're not doing. It's generally you're the common denominator in everything that doesn't have workability in your life. So when you can start taking responsibility for yourself as an entrepreneur and just really look at what you want, find clarity on what you really are passionate about, then it's time to create focus and seek after your goal and take the action and not let anything get in your way. And my whole point of saying about getting up early and all that stuff is just like no excuses. Like if I want to walk a high line this year, 1,000 feet up and walk a tightrope, which is one of my many kick-ass goals for 2016, like it's going to take something a lot extra outside of my normal life, my marriage, everything else. Like that's a completely separate goal in its entity. And that goal doesn't care about any of the other goals. When I'm up there on that tightrope, after all that training, after 2 years of training, I'm already at like a year plus. Gravity's not going to be like, oh, Anthony, you didn't have the right amount of breakfast and you're having a bad day today, son. I'm going to make it easy for you to balance. Here you go. Take those next 5 steps. Have an easy day. Good luck. It's not going to happen, man.
No.
Gravity is going to do what it's going to do. So, be responsible for your own actions, and whatever happens, keep on going.
Well, I think that's a huge part of the whole thing. And what it comes down to with all of our suggestions is you got to figure out what works for you and to kind of wrap things up. Where can the audience find you guys?
Okay. Well, I'm creating a whole new brand side project right now. So, go check out anthonyroumell.com. Right now, the site's secured, but there's nothing up there. But if you want to find me on Facebook and Instagram, I'm under Anthony_balance on Instagram. And I'm under Anthony Roumell, R-O-U-M as in Michael, E-L-L on Facebook. Anthony Roumell, R-O-U-M as in Michael, E-L-L. Those are 2 best places. It's going to be an awesome year. I'm launching this whole wellness brand. It's going to have all types of different structures and disciplines for living a powerful life. And actually going to be focused on coaching trainers on how to be better professionals.
Nice.
And all the things that no one ever teaches you how to do that I've found a lot of mastery in over the last 15 years. So that's what I'm up to. Thanks for your time, guys.
Yeah. and you, my friend, where can the people find you?
You can find me, my company's Golden Glory Authentics. So you can see me at goldengloryauthentics.com. I also have an eBay store. So you can find me at ebay.com/goldengloryauthentics.
Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah, you got us fired up.
Yeah. Well, that's the point. And you're gonna want to listen to this episode like 5 more times because these guys, the number of amazing insights that were just shared is just like stupid. So again, everyone, keep chasing your dreams and don't stop until you get there. Yeah, pleasure to have you guys.
Blessings to all of you, and may you all achieve your every desire.
Peace.
Peace and love.